Let's talk about the GSE composite and, of course, the financial stock index, both down 0.54%. Top 15 index down 2.15% last week. Is the market doing any better today?
No, it's actually gone from bad to worse. I mean, today just about $15,000 traded the whole market, with just about 5 equities trading, and this is expected as we head into the election. Just about 4 days left, but we expect confidence to be restored just after the election, because we are very confident that the democratic process will follow through and we'll have a very peaceful election. This should restore a lot of confidence back to the investors.
Right, but Hilary, let's look at sector performance. I mean, looking at the financial sector, it's been driving the market down, especially with stocks like ETI. It's a major culprit. We saw investors lose interest in that stock. Why do you think this is so, first and foremost?
You're looking at their quarter-on-quarter result. It wasn't that great from the first quarter to the second quarter, but they managed to pick up during the third quarter, and that resulted in just about 8% loss just last week. But we expect it to normalize as we head to the end of the period, because we're expecting them to maintain that kind of performance by the end of the year.
But looking at stocks like Societe Generale, they're performing well. In fact, they climbed to their best value this month. I mean, what is your take on that stock, Hilary?
My take on that is, yes, you're right. They are doing quite well because they've been consistent with their performance. If you look at their bottom line at the end of the third quarter, it rose about 54%. And just about 3 months ago, their price had dropped by 15%, but they've managed to climb up to a year-to-date gain of just about 2%. But what is lacking in this stock is management has not yet come out to the investor public to tell them exactly what they are doing. I think when they do that, that's going to have a very positive effect on their share price. So going forward, we think management should come up to speak about what's behind their numbers, and that should affect the price positively.
Right, and going forward, Hilary, what are some of your stock picks? I mean, looking at some of the corporate news coming out of Ghana, we hear Fan Milk announced an interim dividend of about 0.20 Ghana cedis. What are some of the stocks you think investors should be moving towards as we go to the end of the year?
I think we should be looking at Fan Milk, as you mentioned. We should be looking at Ghana Commercial Bank, Guinness Ghana Breweries. These are some of the stocks that we should, and then Gold as well too. These are some of the stocks we should look out for.
Right, and what's your outlook for this week's performance? Certainly, like we said earlier, there's going to be a lot of there is a lot of concern surrounding the general elections that are coming up on December 7th. But what is your outlook? You said that you feel that it's going to get better, but do you think it's going to get better this week, or we're going to see it getting better later on?
This week we're going to have very low volumes to be recorded. We also expect to see losses in Standard Chartered and as well as Benzo Oil. But going forward, we think stocks like Gold and Cowbank should be able to pick up the market as we head to the end of the year.
And Hilary, let's just check in on how the CD is performing. Now, in the interbank market, not so well. We're seeing the CD at a 5-week low. What is your outlook for the currency going forward?
I think it's expected, especially getting to the end of the year and then also getting into an election period. You expect the cedi to actually lose value against the dollar, and that has been evidenced. If you look at the whole of November, the cedi lost just about 0.3%, and we expect that as we are heading towards the end of the year, manufacturing companies especially will be, looking to stock up, and that will mean that they will demand more dollars, and that should cause some pressure on the cedi. But I believe that from January, February, we should see stability in the cedi.
Right, but it seems like on the retail market, we're not seeing such a sharp fall. Actually, we're hearing that the retail trading has remained immune to activities on the interbank market. Actually, the cedi recorded a second straight weekly appreciation.
That's the reason why we saw just a marginal loss of the cedi, but that's the reason. But we have a lot of measures that have been put in place by Bank of Ghana to ensure that the cedi remains as strong as it is.
And outlook for the overall market over in Ghana, Hilary, I'd love to get your take on that. Certainly, which is going to be affected by the political situation going forward. Generally, what is your outlook to the through the course of this year, 2013? What is your outlook for the market?
I'm sure I'm very positive about the market. The GSE All-Share Index should end in the region of about 15%. And going forward, I think it should improve next year, as we've seen a lot of declines in most of the prices. So we should see a lot of upticking going forward next year. And also coming on board of the pension funds, that's going to create a lot of demand for most of the stocks that are listed. So I think I see a very positive outlook going forward.
Right, and let's talk a little politics, Hilary. What is your expectation coming of this December 7th election that we're going to be seeing coming up? What do you see happening? Do you expect any violence? And what's the picture, Hilary?
What I believe is going to happen is I think it's going to be free of violence. A lot of measures have been taking place to avoid these kind of violence. But on the politics stuff, I think it's going to go for a second round, just between the two major parties, the NDC and the NDP. But my gut tells me NDC is going to win.